Okay, there's plenty more. There's plenty more. I can come back. I can come back. Our next award is for children's literature, sponsored by Books for Africa, whose mission is to end the African book famine. Since its founding in 1988, BFA has sent more than 26 million books to 46 African countries, 1.9 million last year alone. Let's give a warm round of applause to Books for Africa and its representative, Tom Wharf. Among the honorees in the children's literature category, we've had a whopping 16 finalist nominations and 2 previous wins. Presenting the award is Michael Hall, the 2011 winner for My Heart is Like a Zoo.
Well, I'm really happy to be here and to be able to share with you the 4 finalists in children's literature. And I'm particularly happy that we're sponsored by Books for Africa, who I'm told ships more books to Africa than any other country in the Western world. And it's started by my friend Tom Wirt, who's also my neighbor. The 4 books that were nominated are beautiful and poetic and playful and touching. I'm not going to tell you which is which, but there is a book about books that talk. And for example, there's a section where a story's beginning, middle, and end argue over who gets to go first. And coincidentally, the second book that's up for an award, it begins with an ending, the ending of kindergarten. And we learn in that a sad ending can also be an exciting beginning as well. The third book is a book about animal relationships. And you have, for example, a fox and a badger, the relationship between those two, and the relationship between a frog and a mouse. And this is fairly standard in children's fiction. But the interesting thing about this book is it's nonfiction. And finally, we have a story about the spirals in nature, which has really interesting twists and turns at every page. So, the finalists are BookSpeak, BookSpeak, Poems About Books by Laura Purdy Salas, illustrated by Josee Bisaillon, published by Clarion Books, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt Publishing Company. Friends, True Stories of Extraordinary Animal Friendships by Catherine Timish, published by Houghton Mifflin Harcourt Publishing Company. The Last Day of Kindergarten by Nancy Lowen, illustrated by Sachiko Yoshikawa, published by Marshall Cavendish Children. And Swirl by Swirl, Spirals in Nature by Joyce Sidman, illustrated by Beth Cromes, published by Houghton Mifflin Books for Children, Houghton Mifflin Harcourt Publishing Company. That's a mouthful. And the winner is Lori Purdy Salas for BookSpeak, Poems About Books.
That is heavy, and I kind of feel like I should have danced my way up here. Thank you very much. This is very exciting. There is a poem in BookSpeak called This is the Book, and it starts out, she is the writer with dreams in her head, who writes them down so they can be read. But of course it takes a lot more than the writer to get those words that she writes into the hand of a reader. So I want to thank a few people besides the people that that poem already thanks. And let's see, I want to thank all the writers who inspire me and who cheer me up after rejections and who smack talk when I need it, especially locally the wordsmiths and the stir-fry pitas and all my friends in the Kid Litosphere. I want to thank the librarians, the teachers, and the booksellers, the publishing industry people, all the writing organizations, everybody who is so passionate about getting the right books into the hands of the right reader. And I want to thank my family, who is always supportive and encouraging, especially my husband, Randy, who is more steadfast than even my favorite books. And mostly I want to thank all of you for being lovers of books. And as the last stanza says, you are the reader who browses the shelf and looks for new worlds, but finds yourself. Thank you.
Congratulations, Laura, but I'm 0 for 2 in my office pool. I'm not going to win. It's going to be a tough comeback now. I don't know. I'm good at picking other things, but I guess I don't know how to pick a book.